What that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
We hadn't even started the show, Maz. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Ryan Edwards with Maz. You know who's in. It's my boy Anson Wells. I haven't seen him in a very long time. Before we do the intros on Anson, before this show comes on, all you hear is, oh, God. Oh, God. Maz, tell us what the oh, God moment was.
Oh, I have to hear Pete counting us down with the hot buttons and stuff. You know, like, sometimes I just don't want to hear it.
What would be a good count for you? You know, Pete has a habit of 9, 8, 7. No, I'm joking. But Pete does a lot of numbers in the countdown. I think it pisses Maz off.
I wish he would just do, hey, guys, you got 5 seconds, and then just shut up.
I like the countdown.
We got to. Maz, what's going on, man? You've been a little cranky lately, man. You okay?
I got a stomach ache still.
This is true.
It's been 9 days.
That sucks.
I'm sick of it.
It's all that Diet Coke, man. Gotta let go of that Diet Coke, baby.
Well, yeah, maybe you're right.
Well, you know what, Maz? If your stomach was feeling that bad, you know what you shouldn't have done. What we all had the opportunity to do is indulge.
That made me feel good.
This Buddy's Pizza. Shout out to Buddy's, man. New sponsor. They've come on board. We appreciate it. The best pizza in Detroit. And I actually don't say that because they're our sponsor now. 1949, I remember going to the original. Not then. But I remember going when I was a kid, 6 Mile, Nevada. Pizza's been great for years. One of the true lasting restaurant establishments in the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan. Buddy's now on board. I am extremely excited.
So my Buddy's story, my origin Buddy's story was back in the Silverdome days, you might recall.
Ooh, 100%.
Back in the day.
115 points got you half off a pie, and 130 points got you a free pie
slice
from Buddy's back in the day.
Heck yeah.
And I just remember, man, if we were at 128 or 129, the whole place was just wanting one damn thing.
Yeah.
And that was to go to Buddy's. But I do recall being maybe 8, 9, 10 years old and going to Buddy's for my first time. We took a whole crew of season ticket holders as we hit that 130 mark. But yes, it is the most legendary pizza in the great state of Michigan. And I have to add in, there is no better state for pizza than Michigan. And you can say it's fast food pizza, but
I'll let Maz and you have at it on this
created what is it? Little Caesars,
fast food.
Hungry Howie's,
Fast food.
Domino's,
Fast food.
but then we also created the greatest style of pizza. Nobody does it better than Buddy's, and that is the Detroit style deep dish.
It is outstanding.
Corner crook. I'm a corner crook.
Corner crook, baby.
Listen to me, man. My favorite food in the world is pizza. No matter what part of the country I'm in, pizza. If I told you, it's my last meal. If I was going on death row, I would be having pizza and a Coke. Fountain soda, of course. Fountain soda. Fountain Coke.
I was like, whoa, man. I know you was around in the 80s. What type of Coke are you talking about?
Fountain Pepsi.
Well,
Fountain Coke, whatever.
I'm curious because you've been around from like the time that pizza got popular in the 60s.
Pizza was invented, you mean?
Kinda. That goes back to Julius Caesar.
Don't do
the
Maz
Romans.
like that.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying
pizza's not new now.
To me, Maz, you're 48 every time you walk in here.
Thanks, brother.
My question though is
He just said that because he just called you old as hell.
Was there a point where everybody started eating pizza that you recall, or did that happen before you were?
Well, I was born in Jersey,
things?
as you know, and we ate pizza at least twice a week.
Okay.
Minimum, twice a week. So, to me,
it's always been
pizza's
there.
part of life.
It's always been there.
And you know what? It's Lent, and for the Catholics out there, so Friday, get yourself some plain old cheese pizza.
Here we go. Look, rapid fire around the room. I'm gonna start with Pizza Spivak. When I say go, just when you think of pizza, the first spot that you think of, go pizza.
Buddy's.
Pizza.
Benny Tadino's.
Pizza.
Buddy's.
Pizza.
Hungry Howie's flavored crust.
Pizza Populous for me.
Oh yeah, great pizza.
But yeah, like that's an interesting one because that lets you know what type of pizza you really like, what you enjoy. First one to come to mind, me. Oh my God.
Benny Tadino's in Hoboken,
for Pizza
New Jersey.
Populous deep dish right
That's
now.
a fact.
See, Buddy's was my
seafood?
first like experience. We'd always gotten it at home.
But Buddy's
going
is,
for
that
130 point scoring game, we went to the location up there on Van Dyke in Sterling Heights, and like that Buddy's moment was set in stone forever. To me, it's the most legendary pizza in Michigan.
No, it definitely is in terms of the totality of what they do. All the food is good at Buddy's, and I too have similar experiences. Not Sterling Heights, but when the game was over on Sunday for us, we went to the Buddy's that was on Northwestern. Northwestern and 100% Northwestern and 14. I mean Northwestern and Orchard Lake.
I'll tell you what, you could sit there and
shout out to Pops.
They used to have great raviolis there. I mean, I'm sure they still do, but their bread
fried ravioli
is amazing.
Caesar salad,
the bread is outstanding. And my wife will make me go to Buddy's down in Grosse Pointe to buy the salad. If we're having an antipasto,
there we go.
She wants the antipasto from Buddy's.
We just had it, except for Anson. Anson, he didn't want to eat the meat.
You got where's your salad?
What's that?
Where's the salad you had?
It's in my
there?
stomach.
There was a big salad I had to show people.
Right, that is crazy.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
It's in my
That's
stomach.
amazing. That's a flag on the plate.
Right. Flag on the
Did you hear
plate.
what you said?
I said it's in my stomach. Where's the salad? It's in my stomach. I ate it.
You know what? I got
Pause.
I love it. You know what?
That one went over my head. KG, catch me up. What'd I say?
It's in my stomach. It's
in my
crazy.
stomach.
That's
you
wild.
Said it too. Oh, you said it too.
Yeah, I did. Pause.
Did he?
Look, let's knock it off acting like some schoolboys and talk about some sports. Last night, the Detroit Pistons, they take the show.
I stayed up
to L.A. It was exciting to watch until it wasn't. Into Intuit Dome, 123 to 115, they fall. This kind of was about the end of the game. I think they allowed the Clippers to hang around. Never, and we'll get into the officiating, but just from what I saw before I get you involved, they never really could make the big shot. Like Ventecchio had a shot when he came into the game, missed it, airballed it actually. He missed the 3 open shots that he had. Like things like that when you're 2 points ahead on a team like the Clippers, especially when you got James Harden somehow found his bag of youth. Side note, Malik Beasley, be careful what you wish for. Because Malik Beasley a week ago on the podcast said that James Harden was the easiest player to guard in the NBA.
Yikes.
And then James Harden had 50, helped by the refs, but nonetheless, they get the win.
20 free throws. 20 free throws?
You saw what?
20 free throws?
Ridiculous. Yeah, that was it. Anson, I know you want to dive into the officiating because it's L.A. Steve Ballmer, who owns the Los Angeles Clippers, was in the building, as well as Barack Obama, as well as Floyd Mayweather, as well as everybody else, a star-studded list, including
Rip Hamilton,
Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Detroit Pistons, Rip
Jared
Hamilton.
Goff and his wife were there.
Sounds like the fix was in for the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't think so, but what say you, Anson?
Hey, you got Barack Hussein Obama sitting next to, remember those Insane Hussein shirts back in the day?
Insane in the membrane.
Insane. But then listen, when you got Barack Hussein Obama sitting next to the owner of the Clippers on the floor,
Fix is in.
Yeah, fix might be in. Now, Pistons started slow. Harden goes for 20-plus in the first quarter. Listen, shots aren't always going to fall. Yeah. And they certainly were not falling for this Detroit Pistons team last night. Got ourselves into plenty of foul trouble throughout the game. When you look at it, this is a team that got through a month of February with very inferior opponents that they had to play. But they handled business.
But true.
And last time I was in here, I threw out my prediction of 44. What they did was win one more game than I thought they were going to win since the last time I was here, and that was the Boston game. They're right on target. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. I think they're a game and a half behind now for the 5 seed. I still see them ending up as a 6 seed. They have a tremendously difficult schedule this month and even in the rest of April to finish out. But this is still a 44-win team in my book. But they've got to go through nights like this. Yeah. There was something, I'm a pirate, so I don't watch the local broadcasts. I go through my Stream East, and I often end up watching the opposition's broadcast. So I got a chance to watch the Clippers broadcast last night, and one of the things that they talked about at the end of that game was a very teachable moment for JB. There was a couple of plays at the end of that game when it still was a winnable game, where Ron Holland and Jalen Duren went for reaches. And all you have to do is stay steady on defense. There's going to be situations where we're on the road in playoffs. And this is a team with next to no playoff experience, where these types of games are hopefully going to teach them the lessons that they will remember come playoff time. So they're on the path. A loss like last night, it's not a bad loss. You get down 13 in the first quarter, you come back, you take the lead, you compete all game. Whistle, and the ball isn't always going to go your way. So that's a constructive loss, and what we've seen out of this Pistons team is they come back and they shrug it off, they dust it off, and they're ready to play.
They got to play Golden State, though.
Want to get you involved in here. Before I do that, Chet, you know what happened early this week? We talked to you about the Pistons package. Want to just throw it up there so you guys can see it, so you guys can get in the game. Now, it's the Braylon Pistons package. It's for Parlay. Parlay has now come on board, so you can get dinner at Parlay on the night of your choosing.
Nice.
Probably March 28th would be the night. But here we go. 2 tickets to the game.
Wow.
2 tickets to the game, and the seats will be second row, no less than third. Parking pass. So now you don't even have to worry about parking. You'll be good to go. Dinner at Parlay, like I said. How do you get active for this? $5 gets you 1 ticket. $10 gets you 3 tickets. $20 gets you 10 tickets. We will do a raffle on the 27th. The person that wins will receive this package. Now, before we get back to the Pistons, because I have a thought for you, Tom Mazaway. Yesterday, Randall Small won the chat. He had $5 here, $5 here, $5 here, and we appreciate that. He got things going. But it's smarter to put 20 into it. Hear me out. He put 3 5s. He only got 3 entries. If you put 20, you get 10. So you may want to think about that when you're putting your entries into the raffle. And once again, it's a $750, if not more, package. All for you guys to win. All you got to do is enter.
And it's the Braylon package, which coincidentally enough, I have something in my hands here to make it even easier to get yourself some tickets specifically today. So whoever puts in the most into the Super Chat, you're going to get yourself a Braylon Edwards rookie card. And now, Braylon, could you autograph it?
Sure.
There we go.
That's what they would like. There it is.
There we go. So you got great incentive today, but everything that you put towards this, winning this card today, is going to go towards that month, getting your tickets in to get yourself a chance to win the Braylon Piston Parlay package.
All right, cool. While we swap KG out for Ricky Burns, Tom Mazaway. One thing that I did like about the game last night, it seemed like Cade Cunningham got back going. Cade Cunningham has been on a little bit of a slide, hasn't been the same offensive player that he had been for the month of February, at least. Last night, 37, 10, 8. Seems like he found the basket, he found his other guys, and he gets some second chance opportunities on the offensive board. So that much I did enjoy.
Hey, listen, they didn't play their best game last night, and they were in it until the last minute of the game on the road. I was very proud of them because you could tell they weren't themselves. They did not have that edge that they usually have. And then you got James Harden, 20 points in the first quarter, winds up with 50, gets his last free throw to make 50 points. The fun part about this, in the beginning of the game, my wife's watching with me in the first quarter before she conked out. And she's like, man, that guy looks so old and out of shape.
Oh,
does he want to look with that bushy beard? Does he and that paunchy stomach? You know, hey, I'm good with it. You want to be a paunchy guy like me, that's fine. But I don't know. If James Harden put anything into his appearance, into his athletic abilities, he could be so much better than he is. 50 points last night. I wonder if anyone at L.A., did Steve Ballmer give any of the Clipper fans any extra incentive last night when he did hit for that 50th point, because they were chanting for 50 at the end there in the last 30 seconds. He got on the line. He hit the first, missed the second, so he winds up with 50 on the button. So, you know what? Tough loss last night. I really wanted them to get that win because now you got to go to play Golden State on Saturday night, and that's not going to be fun. That means you lose 2 out of 3 on the road.
Lose some weight. That's what I heard.
Did you explain to your wife that he's 35 and played 38 minutes the night before and 39 last night? And
I did not.
50.
This is his 17th year too, right?
I did not.
A lot of years.
He just doesn't look. He doesn't look that good. That's all.
He dropped 50.
He got 50.
He looked good last night. Every time he was trying to force the switch to get Fontecchio on him all game.
He was able to draw some, and he drew some charges, including the one at the end. Like, the one at the end it was so funny. He drew that charge at the end to get the 2 free throws to get to 50. Like, that was the icing on the cake from the referees at Intuit Dome. It was like, all right, cool, get to 50. It's always more fun when your home team star scores 50.
And did you see the ref just sit there like?
They both fell.
All right.
Wasn't it Asar he got tangled up with at the end?
Yeah.
I think it was Asar. But nonetheless, the Pistons lose. But like you said, Maz, it wasn't an ugly loss. There were
No.
some things that you could take out.
They were
of
in
this.
it to the
It's
end.
on the road. They were in it to the end. Even if the refs were against it, they still felt. And K got going. Ricky Burns in the building. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I had an interesting day. Sorry for my tardiness.
Running from the
Pete-
cops or what?
No.
Oh, he
nothing
black.
like
He
that,
running
nothing
from
like
the
that.
cops.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, that was a
You
little
said
racist.
that, not
Just
me.
a little bit.
You the one brought up
Look
the
at
cops.
that. Soon as March started, they go crazy.
What?
Hey, Pete, I love your countdowns, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate you. I was going to say, Ricky, how are you going to be able to do your job if Maz is annoyed? That's not fair, Maz.
It'll be okay.
I'm sorry that you had to come here and deal with this, Ricky. But I
right.
do apologize.
Well, let me rewind because I know you guys are ready to skip into football. I'd like to talk about
No, we're
two
not.
players.
First of all, nobody was done.
Yeah, we weren't done.
Okay, I should
simply-
hope not, because
relax.
you know I could talk Pistons all day.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
know.
talk two things.
We got time.
I want to talk about the development of Cade Cunningham and then the development of Jalen Duren. Three things that I have mentioned that I needed to see out of Cade Cunningham. His free throw shooting fell off this year.
Yeah.
From being a 90-plus guy to down below 85%. He's tightened that up over the last month. It's going right back up. Better decision making. This is a guy that was averaging over five turnovers a game. In the month of January and then February, he had less than 4 a game. He's down to 4.4. The other thing was I wanted to see this guy get the jump shoes, because this is a guy that you watch his high school tape and his college tape, and he had no problem yoking out all over the place, dunking and finishing at the rim, which we never really saw much out of him. I don't know if he's truly just healthy now, but Cade is finishing at the rim. He's going aggressively and trying to dunk on people, and I think that it's translating into more trips to the line, and it's really just making him that much more difficult of a cover. But the other thing is Jalen Duren, and Jalen Duren, I think early on in the season, people were questioning his defense efficiency and rating. Since the clock turned 2025, the guy's been a completely different player. But one thing that is really, really important to look at this kid is he was shooting 60 and 66% from the free throw line in November and December. He's been shooting 77% the last 2 months. I think that free throw shooting is one of the most telltale signs of whether a big can develop an 18-foot game or not. This guy kind of has some Ben Wallace to him, but he's starting to develop some Horace Grant to him, too.
Yeah, a lot of numbers, but what I took out of that is Jalen Duren has become a pretty good free throw shooter, which can help a lot tremendously down that stretch. When you got a big that can make and knock down free throws, it makes teams that much more leery to try to foul those guys in big-time minutes. So I do appreciate that. Maz, you know what's so hilarious?
What?
Let's stay with basketball.
Please.
Let's stay with basketball
Please.
for a minute. There are at least two categories that I know. Regardless if these individuals or this individual does something ridiculous, I know that it will not be on this segment sheet.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I know one is LeBron James. I don't care if LeBron went for 105 points. It will not be on this segment sheet because Maz's dislike and disgust
Despise.
for LeBron is that much.
I have no issues with
And
that.
the team that he does not like is the Boston Celtics. And I can understand he's from New York and Detroit, so he definitely doesn't like the Celtics.
Hate him.
But when two white boys, not named Mikal and Bird, become the first two teammates for the Boston Celtics to score 40-plus points on 9+
I saw
threes,
that.
you got to have it on here.
Yeah.
You got to have it on here. Last night, Peyton Pritchard, 43 points, 12 freaking threes. And then Derek White, no slouch himself, 41, 9 threes.
Are we calling Derek White white?
It was a joke. Like,
You got the last name right.
Too light. How about light boys?
He's half and half. He's white until the cops come.
So we're not sure where he plays during the All-Star game.
That's funny.
Oh, no, don't.
Here we go.
No.
He's a draft pick.
In all of this, even with last night, it was great. Porzingis didn't play. Neither did Jason Tatum. We're trying to find Jason Tatum and where's his star power? What tier of star is he? Is he good enough to be the face of the league? Is he good enough to be? Is he that good? You didn't play and your team is 10-2. You didn't play and your team points go up plus 8.
You did play and the Pistons smoked you.
Every superstar that's elite or in that category of being the face of the league, and I'm sorry the conversation took this turn, but I just thought it was interesting. Like, plus 8 is what your team is when you're not there. They're 10-2 when you're not there. You got two guys, 40-plus points. One of them's your sixth man. Like, do we give him too much credit? Is he just on the best constructed team? Like, this is like an old school team. This is like everybody can play.
Yeah, they're all good.
There are no holes in the team.
Well, and it's not just that, but Joe really has them playing within themselves.
Yeah.
They have a system that they're 10 to 12 deep to be able to handle. So you lose a Jalen or you lose, a Tatum for a game or Porzingis for a week, and there's just so many different guys that you can plug and play.
No matter the rotation.
Luke Cornett's one of the most underrated, nobody knows big men in the league right now. And then you got the old man, literally, I swear, what's the guy that we almost signed from the Hawks that's been there for Al Horford?
Al Horford.
My man looks like he's
he
looks like
his
he's
game.
a assistant geometry teacher in high school right now.
Until he gets
terrible.
out there and you
But
leave him open.
Exactly.
He revamped his game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you only need 18 minutes out of him, but the few times where you don't have Porzingis or whoever, and the guy goes out there and plays 30 and looks like he's still 32. They are so deep, but
cheating, to be honest.
they're so sound as a team and the way that they're coached.
The big thing, too, is they don't care who's the star. Like, that's
True.
what you see now.
Yep.
Jason Tatum doesn't care what you think. Although, every once in a while you'll see him kind of pout and, throw a little temper tantrum that you don't think he's one of the ones. But for the most part, they could give a care less. Like, everybody's a player in a role on that team. So
Kind of the way the Pistons are playing.
True.
For
True.
sure.
They
Honestly,
don't have a team full of, like, top three picks.
Losing Jaden Ivey will go down as the best thing that ever happened to this team. You had him coming in this year trying to shake off the, hey, this is, this guy's a bust.
Is he a move piece or a build piece?
I think he's absolutely a foundational build piece.
You don't think he's a trade bait piece?
I think that a lot of Detroit fans look at him as a trade bait piece.
I do.
I'm sure. And there's good reason for that. And a couple of the reasons why I do think that he could possibly be that is when you saw this season start, you've got a Cade Cunningham who's half labeled as a bust at this point. Through injury or through Monty, whatever it was, he came in here with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. But so did Jaden Ivey. That team, as good as they were with Jaden Ivey healthy, you kind of felt like the two of them were both trying to prove the same point, that this was their team. Yeah. Fact is, with Jaden Ivey out, this team has certainly become Cade Cunningham's team. Mm-hmm. Everybody on the team knows it. Everybody in the league knows it. Yeah. And I think now with Jaden coming back, he's going to be able to assimilate instead of trying to assert himself. And he doesn't have to come back quick. They've been playing better without him. I don't see him as somebody you move just because of the rookie contract, the fact that he loves Detroit, wants to be here, and that's something synonymous with all four of these foundational pieces. The outlook for these guys and reasons for trading them have completely changed from what we were looking at in October and November.
That's interesting.
Jaden Ivey is one of my faves. Yeah, he went down, and it was good because the Pistons learned that they have a cohesive unit even without their guy, Jaden Ivey. And I'll say he's their guy. I would have put him second on this team behind Cade Cunningham, and I would have put Jalen Duren as the 3 in a row. Those are the guys I want to keep. I don't want to trade him, Bray. I really don't. I believe, and I tell you what, I want to keep Dennis Schroeder. I do. Yeah. I don't know. What's his age?
He's probably like 32, 33.
He's a good – I like him as a core piece on a young team.
He's a professional player.
I really believe they did a hell of a job grabbing him.
He's a professional player.
And I think Jaden Ivey will take a huge step next year. And Cade Cunningham and him will play together, and I think they will be dynamic together. I don't want to see him go.
31.
Okay.
31. Keep him. Do you think he stays?
I hope so.
It seems like he sure likes being here.
From the statements that he made prior to the trade deadline, some of you guys might be familiar with them, some polarizing remarks. Not that he was off, but it seems like a guy he's a journeyman. He's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Won a ring, but he's been all over the place. And I think Dennis has always been looking for a home.
He wouldn't have been a journeyman if he blew it. He blew the contract that the Los Angeles Lakers had on the table for him. It was going to be a 5-year, $86 million contract. Yeah. But to your point, yes, he has been a journeyman.
And, when he was moved 2 different times at the deadline, there was all the reason in the world to stand on his remarks a week earlier and pout and I don't want to be here. I've been traded twice. This is garbage. But I think what he did was he ended up finding himself in the middle of an awesome situation with a team that is dialed in, a coach that has their ear, and they're all bought into this defensive style of play. And you see him out there. The guy is leaving nothing on the court. Like, they had a nice run with their second unit last night, and they had to take him off the court for Cade, not because they needed the offense, but because he was running his butt off. And so I could see him coming back on a 1 or 2 year deal. Not a prove-it deal at 31, 32 years old, but
I just think he fits.
You're home, and we see you being that kind of Lindsey Hunter, piece that helps us win like we did in 04.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that assessment. No, you're absolutely right. When you've been on a couple teams, when you start to get a little longer in the tooth, when you start to realize you're in double-digit seasons, like me as a football player, I saw it too. You start to look at opportunities a little differently. He didn't want to leave because he didn't know if he was going to be able to sign with another team. Now he's gotten here to Detroit. You see a young team. It's building the right way. Your front office have some professionalism about themselves. There's some talk. There's some buzz. And you see a budding superstar in Cade Cunningham that you can actually help. You can actually provide some wisdom in the years you're playing. So now he's like, no. This is the spot. I love it here. I'm going to bust my butt and do all. Before we get to the commercial break, I want you to talk about Michigan State a little bit.
Before you get off, then we got a super chat from Rando Smalls.
There's the first one.
Leading us off. So Rando in the game and talking Pistons.
And
he
got
thinks
an entry.
Asar is a 2 or a 3 now, creeping up to the 2 or 3 spot on this team. And I can't disagree with them.
Yeah.
It's my favorite player on the team right now. A star Thompson. You look at what his brother's been doing. If you look at their body of their work this season, their numbers are strikingly similar. But what you've seen out of Amon the last 2 months is I think he's got 5 triple-doubles. He's one of the best defenders in the league. And what we've seen out of Asar since he came along is this team went from a bottom half defensive efficiency to a top 8 team defensively. And what you have with him on the perimeter is the ability to guard 1, 2, 3, and sometimes the 4. But he's so deadly around the basket, whether it's getting blocks, whether it's getting oops, whether it's getting offensive rebounds. The kid's shooting over 60% for the last 2 months. He is just so important to the change over this team. They were good. Then we lost Ivy, but we didn't lose a beat. In fact, we got better because as good offensively as Ivy is, he's maybe a slightly above average defender. Asar's already gone on record. He wants to be the defensive player of the year. Not saying this year, but everything that I've seen out of that kid, he's going to be just that.
He's a thief on the court.
Oh,
a steel machine.
Yeah, when we drafted him, I actually watched the Vegas, the Vegas leagues that summer, the summer leagues, and I remember telling Maz, I remember telling Ryan, I was like, I like this kid. If you remember, he was almost averaging the triple doubles for the games that he played, and I
Overtime
saw him in the
elite.
defensive end. That's what I love about him. He wants to win. He's going to play top-notch, top-flight defense every night and figure everything else out. He's going to give energy, effort, whatever you need out of him. That's what he's going to provide. And like you said, don't let him or his brother anywhere near that rim. Like they levitate from anything inside the free throw line and that rim. It's as good as gotten to the rim. So no, he's an exciting and fun player to watch. It's fun to just watch guys that just want to play within the squad and get to the work.
It scared me when he went down what I thought was a knee injury, and thank God it turned out to just be a cramp.
Yep.
But I was holding my breath for about 10 minutes till I saw him smiling on the sidelines last week.
Well, and a lot of people forget this guy missed a half a year of basketball.
Yep.
Hopefully we see the same type of return from Victor Wembanyama. But where you see his brother
Speak for
right
yourself.
now, the game slowed down for his brother, and it's certainly starting to do the same for Asar. Watching that broadcast last night and getting the Clippers insights, I forget exactly who they said it was, but there was something fascinating. And they were saying that after every overtime elite game, Asar and Amen would watch video for 3 hours following every single game. These two guys are so committed to being superstars in this league. But the other cool thing is
it's two of you.
Well, but Cade's got
That's cool.
But,
Yeah,
well,
right.
I'm
It's
speaking
crazy.
to that.
Okay.
Cade's got Jalen Green pushing him, and vice versa. Amen and Asar, they're pushing each other.
Yeah.
And as much as they love each other and got to play together during the Rising Stars game,
whose career is better?
Every night they're checking each other's
Whose career is
stat
better?
line.
Whose career is
100%.
100%. Let's take a quick commercial break. Let's hear from Les Stanford. I want you guys to get more active in that super chat. I'm telling you, the package is going to be worth it in the end. The Pistons parlay package, that is. Anson, when we get back, why don't you tell me about your Michigan State Spartans? Because they play tonight. They play against Iowa, and they look to be probably the team that's most impressive right now down the stretch in college basketball. But enough Michigan State glazing. Tell us about Les Stanford.
Well, I can't wait to tell you all about my Spartans, but I also cannot wait to tell you about the Les Stanford sign and drive sale. How does zero security deposit sound? How about zero do-it signing? No first payment, no acquisition fee. That's right. All of those will allow you to get into a 24 Envision for only $239 a month, or for only $249 a month, a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation, or step it up. Get yourself into the 25 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 a month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, guys, Dr. Jeff Pierce. That's our guy. We're going to see him a little bit later today, but let me tell you a little bit about him at Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday. Big D Energy joins us, as he will today, on Thursdays. Trust the guy that D-Mac and Braylon trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce, here to keep you in the game and playing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Welcome back in. Anson Wells joining us today, having a good time talking a little basketball, Detroit Pistons. If you didn't miss that conversation, rewind it back because it definitely was pretty good. Before we get into the lines, which I know you all want to, Carlton Davis has some choice words, and we'll jump into that.
I don't like it.
But and we will talk about that. Let's talk a little bit college basketball. The season is upon us. That is the March Madness. Michigan State, Michigan, I'll start there. Michigan State, they beat Michigan February 21st, and Michigan State since then has been on a roll. They a little bumpy on the West Coast trip, but man, they responded in kind in the last 5 games. just touching on Michigan real quick. I think Michigan State exposed them. I think they exposed them defensively. If you get Wolf at the top of the key, Wolf can't be dangerous. You got to approach him as soon as he crosses half, and all teams will follow suit. Maryland followed suit last night. You saw what Illinois did to him on Sunday. I think Michigan is in danger, Tom Mazaway, of being that 5 seed that loses to the 12 seed. Every year, like that's almost, you know what's going to happen. I think that's where Michigan is kind of placing themselves. A 5, they'll be a 4, but they're a 5. They always lose to that 12 because they just cannot get it. They've been exposed in the perimeter game, the guard play, can't make free throws, and then Wolf if you catch them across half. So that's Michigan, but you got to tell me about Michigan State because I'm seeing it defensively. They found a jump shot out of nowhere. It's just looking good. You go ahead.
I love Woodward Sports, and I love everybody that works here. Unfortunately, quite a few of our hosts here are such devoted Michigan fans that
I don't know who you're talking about.
They have a difficult time being realistic. So I remember everyone telling me that Michigan State was getting smoked by Michigan.
Who's everybody? Because I didn't say that.
You didn't. You didn't. But again, I didn't say alumni.
True.
I said corn and blue fans.
You did.
Okay.
You did.
And there's
Excuse
one
me.
over there with
Excuse
his
me.
hands up.
Excuse me.
What are your hands up for?
I called
so what
this-
did I say to you over the weekend?
You
What
said
did I tell you?
You said, would you shut up?
I asked the question once.
Fair. Yes, twice. Let him answer.
You said that Michigan is looking like they're going to go into the postseason losing 4 in a row.
3-0.
And I said, no, 4 in a row.
And I
because
said,
they've
are
already
you
lost.
saying that as an analyst or a fan?
So I said, I think they'll beat Maryland. And you asked me, as an analyst or a fan? I said, both. I thought they would beat Maryland yesterday at home, last home game of the year, and it didn't happen. The crowd knew it. They knew it. They were just listless. They didn't have it. And Maryland, like you said, we've been talking about it. Braylon, you brought it up. They lost a bunch of heartbreakers this year, including one to Michigan State just last week on that half-court buzzer beater. So Maryland is no team to play around with.
Nope.
They're a good team.
Yep.
But I believe Michigan –
We beat them on a buzzer beater.
yeah. And I believe Michigan will rebound in the Big Ten tournament. I do. I think they'll win a couple of games and make it interesting. And I would love to see Michigan against Michigan State for a third time in the tournament because coming up this weekend,
March 9th.
MSU's probably got a little something for the Wolverines. They handed them easy at Chrysler. Second half, they dominated, and I don't see them slowing down. And I did call MSU a Final Four team, so you shut up.
Before we get too much on Michigan State, Michigan's struggling right now a little bit. They've still had a fantastic season, and they are in one of the best divisions or conferences in college basketball. That being said, this Wolf kid is an enigma. I'm not sure how well his game is going to translate in the NBA, but he's that quintessential college stud. He's a matchup nightmare for so many different teams. But again, there's a certain way to play him. If you let him operate right around 20 to 21 feet and start from there, he's going to carve you up. The other thing is they're so good inside. Their big men are so talented.
2 7-footers.
That type of team, they win games in the tournament, period. When you're drawing an 11 seed, 12 seed, even a 13 seed, you're getting some very, very good teams. I don't think that Michigan gets bounced in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make the Sweet 16. Now, when you're talking about Michigan State,
there we go. Ding, ding, ding,
you're
ding, ding.
talking about some guys in Fears and Holloman. Obviously, Jason Richardson's son, Jace. They have guys that can high fly. They've got the guys that do the dirty work inside. They've got amazing perimeter play, but this team feels like the 2020 team. This team feels like the 2000 team. There were some games those years that, whatever it was, they needed some magic at the end to pull it out, and they were able to do it those years. They have all the pieces together right now in East Lansing to make a truly deep run in this NCAA tournament. But as confident as I am, and as much as I love this team and love my alma mater, this game on Sunday, which you will be at, maybe you and me as well, Maz, nobody in green and white should be looking at that as a W right now. This is a rivalry game. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I don't care if you want to say your rival's Ohio State or we're little brother or anything like that. It's going to be an awesome, awesome game. I think that Michigan's going to be able to bring it down to the wire, and I think it's going to give them enough confidence, win or lose, that they spring right into the Big Ten tournament and then the NCAA tournament after that. Both Michigan teams, basketball-wise this year, are fantastic.
I can smell the popcorn and hot dogs from here of the Breslin Center. Pete, you mentioned something interesting. You know, Auburn, they lost to Texas A&M, and there was another top 5 team lost yesterday. Talk about that, Pete.
Well, that'd be Tennessee losing on the road, man, in a game that they should have won. The SEC is definitely wide open. I don't see, if you guys are going to be doing your brackets out there, don't forget that the number 1 seeds are not guaranteed anymore. I'm sorry, sick and tired of hearing about that stuff. But to your point, Anson, about Michigan and Michigan State, Michigan State is definitely a Final Four team. I'm going to tell you something right now. That team is one of the more consistent college basketball teams around right now in college basketball, aside from Duke, who's obviously playing well. But Michigan State's going to go in probably as probably a 1 seed if they win the Big Ten. If they don't, possibly a 2 seed. So that would I would say that Michigan State right now, in my eyes, guys, because Duke always finds a way to blow it, I find Michigan State probably is going to be the highest seed going into the Final Four, yes, as a 2 seed.
No, you're crazy.
I'm not crazy.
I don't see Cooper Flagg not being in that Final Four.
I'm not.
Friend.
Okay, well, that's fine. But then tell them to start beating teams that they need to beat. And I'm just not seeing the one college basketball team that scares the living daylights out of me when Auburn can't beat Texas A&M on the road. Now, I know Texas A&M is a good team, but they were an up-and-down team. You don't know which team you're going to get. And for Tennessee to lose last night by 2 points the way they did was I don't know if you watched the game, but I did because I was obviously playing, had a little money on the game. But I'm just saying that Tennessee, guys, is not this big, bad team that everybody thinks in the NCAA, guys, as I go into my Kermit and the Muppets. But I'm just saying, guys, don't be so all excited to put number 1 teams up there. But I'm saying Michigan State is a Final Four team. I agree with you, Maz.
All right, 2 questions, and we'll switch the topic to the NFL because I can't wait to talk about it. Pete.
Yes, sir.
Is the SEC now the best conference in basketball this year? And Tom Izzo, will he win his second one this year?
SEC is not the best conference in basketball right now. I think it's still the Big Ten, and I think that Tom Izzo will win the championship.
Tom Izzo, SEC number 1, and Tom Izzo, was he going for 2?
No, I like the Big Ten. They're always tough. They're going to put the most teams in, I believe, like they usually do. And they're always going to have somebody in the Final Four, and it's going to be Michigan State. And Izzo is winning this year. You go book it.
Ricky Burns with 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah, I agree. Big Ten, from what I've seen, is the best. And I'm hoping for Izzo. I can't guarantee anything. I don't know too much. But I'm hoping for Izzo to win another one.
Okay.
Hey, who are you?
That wasn't the answer. Hope wasn't one of the answers.
Hope wasn't the answer.
Yes or it's a no?
Yes.
All right. Yes, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we go.
That's what I'm talking
Auburn
about.
number 1, Tennessee number 4, Alabama number 7,
and they were fighting.
Clemson number 11. That's
all beatable.
4 teams from the SEC in the top 11.
All beatable.
But we're
Clemson
talking about which is the better conference.
Is Clemson ACC?
Are they?
Clemson's ACC.
Clemson's ACC, bro.
ACC.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. School me a little bit.
Tigers.
But yes, then you got
close.
some Big Tens at 8. Wisconsin 12, Maryland 13.
Well, Big Ten beats
Michigan
up on each other all the
17,
time.
Purdue 18. In terms of the amount of quality teams that are going to be put into the tournament, I believe that the Big Ten will have more. Outside of Michigan State, I believe that the SEC has more high-end teams. So take that for what you will. I think these 2 teams are kind of 1A and 1B on a tier well above everybody else. Obviously, the ACC you can't write off. I mean, they got some teams in there as well. Florida's ACC, they're SEC, right? So SEC, I skipped over them. So that's 4 teams in the top 10 right there.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. SEC is the best right now. That's where I'm at. When
Cool.
you tell me Big Ten have more, fine. You want to have 7, the SEC has 6. Those 6 teams are better than the Big Ten 7, in my opinion. The other side of it, I think so. I think if ever there was a time to strike while the iron's hot, like this is the type of basketball that's winning. It's cohesion, its players is played together, and its coaches is coaching in old school type of way. I think if ever there was a year, this is a year for Tom Izzo to win his second one. So may the force be with you, Tom. Switching to the NFL, DB is one of the positions that the Lions need the most. Carlton Davis, most notable on that list because he played last year, and he played extremely well when he was healthy. Well, the Lions didn't franchise anybody. By the way, that's the 7th straight year they haven't franchised anybody. So now this lets him know that he's free to test the market. And here's the comment from Carlton Davis: I won't make the same mistake twice. If you want your defense upgraded, you know who to pay. Turn on the tape. Woo. Tom Mazaway, Anson dominated basketball, so I will come to you to start. Where are you?
I don't understand what he's saying, to be honest with you. I will not make the same mistake twice. What does that mean?
He only played 1 year this year. He played a 1-year deal.
I understand, but he came here on a trade.
True, but he didn't hold out. He didn't have them pay him. He didn't wait and say, hey, I'm only playing if you extend me, like a Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick did the same thing with the Jets. Yeah. He didn't do that. He trusted the good faith of the team is what he's saying, and they let him hit the open market.
Well, this seems like it's the second straight year something like that has happened to a defensive back. If you remember, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson said the same freaking thing about the Lions. They lied to me, he said. So we're talking about the Lions in such good light all the time that they do the right thing by their guys. Here's another guy that wasn't one of their guys. They traded for him, right? Free agents for the other guys. Chauncey Gardner, free agent. Or anyone that they bring in off the street, they don't treat like it's their own son. Have you noticed? It's really a standout. It's a stick out. So what that tells me is we're not going to sign hardly anybody this free agent season coming up, which starts on Monday at noon, by the way. I believe that they're going to go in and they're going to get the job done with Kirby Joseph, who right now, do you know what he makes? He makes less than $2 million a year. Do you know what a top safety like him makes?
18
to 20. So what is Kirby Joseph going to sign for? Because he's on his last year of a deal. You have to sign him, and then do you go and do you sign Aiden Hutchinson ahead of time? Yes. Or do you play it out? Let him play one more year. Let him see how his leg is. But the price is only going to go up. They're going to sign their own guys. That's what Brad Holmes said at the Combine. When someone asked him, are you going to go out, do you have enough money to go out and sign another defensive tackle, a real star defensive tackle? He said, probably not. Those are his words. Probably not. So what this tells me is, yeah, they're going to let Carlton Davis walk. But they're going to sign Kirby, and I think they're going to re-sign Aiden Hutchinson. What they do with J-Mo, maybe they wait one more year. But Braylon, the clock's ticking on him as well. This team is just going to sign their own, and they're going to plug and play with a guy on one-year deals like they've been doing.
Before I let you go, Anson, I see you chopping at the bit. The Lions got to be careful about these one-year plug and plays and then not bringing guys back.
They're getting reputation.
That part right there, the reputation. Yep. Now, with that being said, go ahead, Anson.
Well, I think that something Carlton Davis probably should have put at the end of that quote is for 59 to 82% of games. Because it's the man that's played for 7 years and has never played more than 82% of games in any one season.
Facts.
Now, we've learned this with Emmanuel Mosley, why they brought him back 2 straight years, an oft-injured guy that, let's give him one more year. We did this now with Marcus Davenport again this last year. So, no, Carlton Davis was not getting a franchise tag. And, no, we are not going to give him multi-year deal. 1, because he can't stay healthy. 2, for the exact reason that you just talked about. We have seen it. This is, again, a reason why I don't think the Myles Garrett trade is ever going to happen.
It's not.
There's one guy in the history of this new regime that has gotten a 3-year deal or longer that was not drafted by the Lions, and that is Jared Goff.
Anzalone.
Jared Goff.
He got a 3-year deal?
I think so.
Goff.
You got an extension on his deal.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
But that would be the one. And you look at all these plug-and-play guys, and what they've done is they've taken a team full of holes. They drafted to fill those holes, and much like Troy Weaver did while he was trying to clear his books, he just plugged in 1-2 year guys here and there until they could get to the point where they are now, where the Pistons are now. So Carlton Davis, it's not happening. We'll get into who I think that they're going to sign and who they should sign. But
go for it then.
We'll do that now. Kendall Fuller. This is a guy that has not been injured and has been great pretty much every single place that he has been. This feels to me like going out and getting somebody like Carlton Davis without having to trade to do it. But this is a guy that I think you can give a 2 or 3 year deal to. Now, Nate Hobbs, another guy that you can plug in, maybe a little pricey for what he is. But if you bring those 2 guys in and they're your starters, you're okay. But if you bring those 2 guys in and next thing you know, you've got Rakestraw and Terrion starting and those guys are your rotation, you have one of the best secondaries in the league.
Listen, man, there's another guy that was almost one of their guys that will sign a 1-year deal. Darius Slay.
Uh-oh.
How does Darius Slay and Carlton Davis match up? You tell me.
Similar.
Decently close, I would say.
Super similar.
So here's what I would say to that. And
1-year deal.
And this is for B. Martin, my guy, Super Chat, $20. And the question that he asked is, same thing along the lines of matter. How big of a mistake will it be if the Lions don't bring back Carlton Davis? Here's what I would start with. If you don't want to bring him back because of the injury piece that has plagued the Detroit Lions, we act like last year was the first year the Lions experienced injuries. They experienced injuries 2 years ago and 3 years ago. They were one of the worst teams. So if you don't want to bring him back because of the injury side of things, 2 injuries.
He got his broken jaw.
Maz, hear me out. What happened before that?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Tore something. Oh, forearm. That's what
Was
it
it?
was.
It's
Yeah, I know
forearm.
it's
Like,
another
2
weird
injuries.
You're right.
He has forearm, he has jaw at the end of the season. So if you're scared of that, then fine. With that being said, what I saw out of him, Darius Slay at this time and juncture is not what Carlton Davis is. Physical at the line of scrimmage, still can run with these DB and still has that moxie to talk that stuff. Darius Slay is now a little older, so now it's an old man smart game. It's kind of like when Stephon Gilmore played against A.J. Brown. He was bad the rest of the year, but for that one game, he knew what he had to do because A.J. had been running his mouth. That's what Darius Slay is. So the 1-year deal side, yeah, Slay will come in. But you need a guy like Carlton Davis. When you got Justin Jefferson, whoever the hell Green Bay Packers are going to go against, and then the Chicago Bears have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, both really talented wideouts, you don't want to worry about your number one DB. The DB that's going with all the guys. The DB that's running across the formation with insert number 1 receiver here. With that being said, I just need a guy that I trust. And based off what I saw last year, I trust Carlton Davis. If they can figure out a price point, because this is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of players in this offseason. Wide receivers, they're not going to get paid like they think they are. Right. The money is coming backwards. Deals like Christian Kirk ruined it. You look at all these wide receivers that gotten paid. I saw this stat somewhere. Out of all the wide receivers, the top 8 contracts, he got like 1 playoff win this past season. All these guys making 30 and 28 and 29, 1 playoff win to show for it. So they're in for a rude awakening. But getting back to Carlton Davis, if they can have a reasonable price point, once he gets through it all, you know the team, and I'm not making the same mistake, that's all Michigan's for right now. If they can come to a reasonable term, he's the guy. I saw him. I like him. He's aggressive. He fits the mold here, and he can travel with your number 1.
Now, Easy, our guy Easy from the heavyweights has been mortally wounded. He loves Carlton Davis, and he, name he threw out on fun, I think, is Cam Sutton. Now we got the chat saying, bring Cam back. Bring Cam back. He wasn't one of their guys either, and obviously they cut bait with him. But I wanted to congratulate B. Martin, the first $20 bid today. That. You know what that gets you? Hey. That gets you 10 entries
100%.
Into the Piston package, the Braylon Parlay Pistons package, 2 tickets to the Pistons and Cavaliers. We're talking second or third row in the lower tier. Parking, and, of course, dinner at Joik Bell's place, Parlay. And that is going to be on March the 28th, is it? Yeah. March the 28th. So the most money for the month gets that. But now he has got 10 entries to get in that. And he has the lead for look what Anson's got, the Braylon Edwards rookie card, which will be signed live on the show in the 3 o'clock hour. So congrats to B. Martin.
The plug and play part, shout out to B. Martin. Definitely appreciate you. We're going to keep this thing rocking and rolling. The part about the plug and play, and that's what Brad Holmes is trying to do. And yeah, Howie Roseman does it to a certain extent, but they're plugging and playing like all pro type players. At some point, when does the conversation change, or when does the approach not even change, just evolve? When does it need to adapt? Like, all right, cool, here's another 1-year plug and play. Here's another 1-year plug and play. And now it's not working. And now it's not working. The draft definitely works for Brad Holmes. But here's a great conversation for us. How can Brad Holmes evolve in that regard, in terms of maybe I do spend a little money, maybe I do a 3-year deal because I believe in this process. Is that something that you want to see out of Brad Holmes, or you could see happening this season?
I like your use of the word evolve.
Yeah.
And I believe that we are seeing the new evolution of how to build a team through the eyes and actions of Dan and Brad. These guys are building a team like they used to build teams, like Dallas did 25 years ago, like Pittsburgh did our entire lifetimes. And what you're seeing now is other teams start to adopt what the Lions have done, whether it's fourth down attempts or whether it's building through the draft and not getting caught up in these exorbitant contracts and these deals where you give up all kinds of draft capital. So I do believe that there is an evolution of Dan and Brad, but I believe they're setting the pace. And I believe that...
I would disagree with that. The pace setter has to be Howie Roseman. Regardless of what you like about this strategy or not, Howie Roseman is
but
the pace setter.
Let's look where the Lions franchise was 4 years ago.
Okay.
This is the most maligned franchise in professional sports, period.
Yeah.
And the roster and the salary cap situation and contracts that these guys inherited was a JV Division II college team, basically. So it took some years for them to get through. No one expected the Lions in 2023 to be an NFC finalist. Sure, everybody had lofty expectations, but 4 years ago, if you would have said that everyone's demanding a Super Bowl out of this team the last 2 seasons, you would have said we're far ahead of the curve. And there's nobody to blame but the people that are running this team right now, and they have not deviated from that. I love me some EZ. But this is the same guy that has wanted us to get rid of Jared Goff. For who? Yeah. I mean, there's 4, 5, 6 guys like Jalen Hurts, like Pat Mahomes, like Josh Allen in the league, and then there's everybody else. There's so many guys on this team that Detroit Lions fans are just attached to. Listen, J-Mo's probably not going to be here past his rookie deal, fans. You're going to have to deal with that.
I think I might agree with you on that.
You can't hire and have $50 to $60 million worth of players as your edges. It doesn't work. I know that's what you want, Lions fans.
Okay, but I agree with you on that. And you're absolutely right about that. And I even agree with the J-Mo piece where he may make
real quick, though, Carlton Davis is this year's Jamal Williams. Everyone wants him here because we had so much fun with him and what he meant to us. But Monty is a better upgrade. A guy that plays more than 82% of the games. Literally, you look at Carlton Davis, out of 1 year, he played in December and January. Otherwise, he missed all or part of each one of those months. Those are when you need the guy. So to me, this just screams, who are we attached to versus who makes the most sense for Dan and Brad.
Hey, by the way, Randall Smalls with another nickel in there.
I was about to get to that.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, guys.
Me bring my thoughts back. No, you call him Jamal Williams is disrespectful. Jamal Williams had 20 touchdowns on the 1 yard line. He is not the same player that Carlton Davis was. I watched Carlton Davis get into SHIT of number 1 DBs, Justin Jefferson, and a couple others included. And those DBs actually, this is good. So, no, I disagree with that. But getting back to the draft and Brad and them setting the pace and setting the tone, we've been trying to build this D-line in the secondary for 4 years.
Yeah, but they've been spending everything on offense.
I understand, but the plug and play, Cam Sutton, plug and play, Mosley, plug and play for 2 years. Another one, and we're just talking about with I can't think his name now. The guy we're talking about, Carlton Davis. Oh, okay. Another plug and play guy. Like how many Davenport on the right hand, plug and play guy.
Let me ask you this.
At some point, you had we've been fighting for the D-line secondary 4 years, and what are we doing in year 5? D-line secondary.
Well, see, I don't think that we've been fighting for our defense. Last year was the first time that you saw them fight for their defense. They traded a third rounder to get a number 1 CB in Carlton Davis. They spent all their picks on defense. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to see what Rakestraw was. Terrion, I think, is on the right path.
Speaking of that, shout out to Randall Small. That's what you said, Randall Small. There's no way to start building this is a new one, actually. I got to go back. So what are we doing with Terrion, Rakestraw, and Amik? Holding pattern. That was a question from Randall Small. Sorry, I didn't want to get away from it. Terrian's your number 2 DB. Like, Terrian is your number 2 DB drafted in the first round last year, who you're still trying to decide, can he be a number 1? Whoever you bring back, Carlton Davis or insert player here, will be your number 1. Ennis Rakestraw will be your third backup to Amik Robinson right now. But do you feel comfortable with that as your secondary, what I'd be asking you? No. Terrian's 2, whoever you sign is 1, and then Amik could be 3 as of right now.
Okay, so 2 questions. What do you 2 think that it would cost to re-sign Carlton? Because based on his words,
10 plus a year.
I'm thinking 15.
Commercial break, and just jump right back into this.
Okay, please.
Let's do this. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you. It's clean. How clean? Squeaky clean. Trainer, every membership. That's what Planet Fitness is giving you. Go ahead and answer, and you're good. Also, there's no judgment here. So you come on down, you have a good time, you work out at your pace. And then we're not trying to hit you over the head with the prices. It's fitness that fits into your budget. Planet Fitness, come on now, where your fitness is essential.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Since 2004, Lady Jane's has been taking the chore out of getting your haircut. You can come in and let their talented stylists deliver that industry-leading haircut while you sit back with the relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and of course the hot towel treatment to finish. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You guys know it's wicked awesome.
2004 was a good year for Michigan against Michigan State football, at least.
All I remember was
It's
a
good for the
summer
Pistons,
in
too.
Ann Arbor. Or not Ann Arbor. Excuse me. Damn it! What did you just do to me? A summer in Auburn Hills. Damn it!
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun time. I remember that night like it was everything. Talking about Game 5.
That's 21 years ago.
Detroit Pistons,
You know who I
Los
sat in
Angeles
front of?
Lakers. I was at the club that night. I was at 7 at the after party.
You know, so
That they never came to because they were stuck at the Palace.
Oh, right.
all night.
Yep. So we had the 114, I believe it was, which was over on the visitor side right behind the bench. Oh, the LA seats were such a premium that my dad sold them. I'm just like heartbroken. I've been to every single home Pistons finals game in history. So I'm pretty sick about it. And he surprised me like an hour and a half before the game. He's like, I got some tickets I think you're going to like. So we were in the same seats, but behind the Pistons bench. And you know who was right behind us?
Right there.
Jack Nicholson and the owner of Girls Gone Wild.
How about
Sweet,
it?
dude.
And then right next to me was Summer Sanders and that weird old man, the skinny old hipster guy from the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers.
with the big
He's with
hats.
Jack. He's always next to Jack.
Thinks he's way cooler
Summer
than he is.
Sanders.
They were not happy in that game.
I sat next to Big Red, Jimmy Butler's girlfriend. I sat next to Rachel Nichols.
No. I sat next to Rachel Nichols, baby.
Not for the final, you didn't.
No, not for the final.
Okay,
no.
that's what I'm talking about.
That was at the Shaq game, and what was the Pistons and the Heat?
Long story
2006.
short, I was at that game too.
You were?
I used to go to all the Pistons games back then. Long story short, Pistons, Lions, Tigers, Red Wings. One of you guys got to win a championship because we're sick and
Spartans,
tired.
Wolverines, you guys too.
Well, we won one last year, so relax. We're tired.
Been a minute.
We're tired. It's been anyway,
Over a year.
We're tired of the nostalgia. I'm tired of nostalgia. I'm tired of reminiscing about when I was in college. in
Real
Michigan,
talk, bro.
reminiscing
Real
when I
talk.
was 6,
Tell
7, 8 years old. Reminiscing when I was in high school in the Red Wings. I want some now.
Talk to
him. Tom Mazaway, free agents outside of Carlton Davis.
Yeah, we're talking Carlton
You want
Davis
to stay there?
value.
You want to stay there?
We got to stay there.
In terms of the number
Because
per year?
This is a dividing factor with Lions fans right now. We need you guys give me a number. What do you think it'd take? I feel like based on
12 to
his
15.
words,
12.
12 to 15. And with the salary
12.
cap moving up, I'm seeing him wanting $14-15 million. So
Too much.
My question is this. It is too much. Can you get Darius Slay and Kendall Fuller for 16, 17? Because I'll take those two over Carlton, 82% of games played Davis all day long.
Okay, who's going to be your defensive line? Who's going to be your rush edge? Because that's going to depend on what DB I want as well. Because if your defensive edge, in terms of the opposite of Aiden Hudson,
You won't need a DB.
You said, that's where I'm going. If
Yeah.
you're not going to be that stout at that position, then Darius Slay is not going to cut it for me. If you're going to be stout at that position, obviously we know what's off the table and that's fine. But if you're going to be stout, if you're going to stack up, if you're going to, I don't want Bosa. He's a culture killer. I don't like him. But if you're going to throw a couple bodies, Darius Smith, bring him back. Go out and get a Khalil Mack, who we'll get to, or somebody else. Now, if you're going to do something like that, then fine. You either got to stack the deck or you got to get Trey Hendrickson in on that other side.
Yeah, and I think they double dip at their first two picks in defense.
Yeah.
I think they'll both be defensive line.
Not O-line?
They'll get an offensive lineman. I'm not sure it's going to happen in the first two rounds.
Defensive line.
They got Mahogany, in the 5th, so maybe they can get somebody a little bit later.
Yep, and then Manu, they got in the 3rd or 4th.
Yeah,
So
well, they traded up to get him in
Yep.
the 3rd round.
there's some names that
He's
we'll
got
get
work
to
to do.
here in a minute. We got top or 10 free agents that the Lions like. There's a name on there that I think would take care of everything that you're worried about.
Carlton Davis, for me, I'm not giving him more than $13 million.
Nope, hell no.
Nothing more than $13 million.
And if he's mad about coming here for 13, even more reason I don't want him.
Also, 100%. Also, too, as a former player, it's not all about the dollars. At least it shouldn't be. For the smart players that get it, sometimes you sacrifice the cash for the culture, for the team, for where they're at, what they're going to do, the winning. All that in me supersedes the money, especially if you're arguing about $2 million. The Detroit Lions are the franchise, one of two, that is the destination right now in the NFL for players. So he'd be smart to sacrifice and to have a good conversation with them. Extension, but yeah.
Hey, we missed this on Rando Smalls as well. Thanks, Rando. There's no way to start building like Brad and then switch it to Philadelphia's way. That's what he is saying. All I'm saying in return to that, Rando, is we don't want to do it the Philly way. We'll keep drafting like we're doing. I'm just saying take a break this year. Trade the draft picks and get a guy like Myles Garrett. That's all I've ever been saying. You don't have to work your team like Philadelphia, although it works, by the way. Just check. 3 Super Bowls in the last 7 or 8 years. So I don't know what to tell you.
I disagree, too, because it's not the Howie Roseman way and switch it. At the end of the day, Howie Roseman evolved. He's been doing it longer than Brad Holmes, so eventually it turns into this when players get longer in the tooth. They're building through the draft much like the Lions are. Look at all the players they drafted.
Oh, my God.
All the stars, the Milton Williams is on the market. Right. They drafted him. They drafted all these other players. So there's a lot of drafted players, But over time, you have to bring in free agents like an A.J. Brown or like a Saquon Barkley,
Zach
things
Bond.
like that. It happens over time. That's all I'm saying.
I guess my question is what is the difference between the way that Philly is built and with the way that the Lions
Philly's
are built?
not afraid to
because
go make
just to me, last year Philly could have traded the picks that turned into Cooper DeJean as well as Kenyon and turned it into a guy with a $25 million contract that is on his last year deal coming in now. That's not what they've done. I'm on board with Rando.
That's because the players they wanted were there to draft.
Well, sure.
And they did a hell of a job.
Well, but they didn't know they were going to be there. They knew that they were good enough at identifying talent that they had confidence in their ability to go out and pick 2 impact players, whether they were starting or
they
not.
Knew they were going to be there, and they went and they got them with those picks. Like Cooper DeJean maybe doesn't go that high if not going to the Eagles. They went ahead and pulled the trigger on Quinyon Mitchell at that pick, much like Brad Holmes knew he wanted Jahmyr Gibbs. So he went up and got Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. So it's the same thing, I assume.
I see them remarkably similar,
yeah.
and I think that there's a great parallel with them 2 years ago making the Super Bowl. Last year, again, I've said it many times, the unceremonious early exit. That's panic mode. That's where most franchises go and make that big trade, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They stuck to what got them there, used those picks to bring in some new young defensive players. They go and win a Super Bowl, and they're not stretched by one guy that they traded a bunch of capital to get.
Understood, but look at the moves they made. You're now rolling into my side, and I appreciate it. It's happened over time. Eventually, they needed to get an A.J. Brown. They pulled the trigger. They went out and got in free agency Saquon Barkley and paid him, and then paid him again because of what he did. Like, at some point in time, that is going to occur for the Lions. The only reason why we're saying it's so much different, or we don't need to be the Eagles, is because the Lions haven't had a superstar that you've bought in from another team and it worked. It hasn't happened yet. So for Lions fans, even yourself, it's like, no, we don't need to do that. At some point, you will.
I actually appreciate you clarifying that, because I do believe and agree with you that that is the next step of the evolution. But for the last 2 off seasons, one of my most respected, Lion knowledgeable guys, he's been really upset that they didn't go in and make these splash deals. What I see with this regime is they go into these free agent classes much like the draft, and they have a short list of players that they would want. And if they don't get them, it doesn't matter. They're not going to desperately go and sign another guy because they need an edge or they need to fill this hole. They would rather get a 1-year patchwork guy in there and try and address it to the draft. I do believe that at some point, now that this is a free agent destination, that there is going to be a major free agent that they have confidence enough to put a 3-4 year long-term deal on. We haven't seen it yet, but I think that they have figured out their holes to where there's just a few versus 17 like there was 2 years ago. So yeah, I will agree with you guys on that one. They do need to take that plunge and find that Saquon through free agency without having to give up draft picks that takes them to the promised land.
Hey, the super chat is hot and heavy again. It is B. Martin against Rando. B. Martin with another $20.
Hey!
He's got 20 entries.
That's right.
For the Braylon Pistons package, the Pistons parlay package.
Huge.
20 entries already and $20 right now. He's got $40 riding on that Braylon card, looking like he's going to get a nice signed card. And he says Lions cannot continue to lean on the draft develop method. Drafting and development should be a core for your team, but sooner or later, you have to take a swing and trade for a player to get you over the hump. F dem picks. I'm putting a big like on that one for B. Martin. And Randall Small says, would the Raiders take our first this year and next and third and next for number 6? I say they would. Randall wants to move up to number 6 and draft a young defensive tackle. He'd rather go young than old.
He wants to give the same package it would take to get Myles Garrett to take a question mark at 6?
I don't think that would get Myles Garrett. Those just
2 firsts and
those.
2 thirds? Because you guys were telling me
they're
it would
giving
take
us
less the other day.
They're giving us their number 1. So it's we're giving them.
I mean, do you want to take a stab at who you might get at 6, or do you want Myles Garrett for the same price?
Well, you don't have to ask me. You know what I want.
I knew.
I'm just telling you that. Thank you to the guys for chipping in here.
And thank you to the chat. If you're following us on YouTube, you can also follow us along on Twitch and Twitter. If you don't know about the Super Chat game we got going, we've got an amazing Pistons package at the end of the month. Over the whole month, anytime that you pay into that Super Chat, you're going to get tickets to get drawn. And today, the number one Super Chatter today will get this Braylon Edwards rookie card signed by the Wolverine legend himself.
Tom, as well, I want to 100%. I appreciate your answer for that autograph. No problem at all. Conversation, even everything. That package, the Pistons package, it's legit. We'll get to that a little bit later. Okay. I want to get to something that you said. Aiden Hutchinson. Would you extend Aiden Hutchinson now and then sign Kirby Joseph and then wait J-Mo out? I think it puts you ahead, and I'll let you answer the question. Would you extend Hutch now as well as Kirby Joseph and then wait J-Mo out?
So 2 years ago, I came in here during the offseason. We used to come in on Thursdays, bring some hot eats and hot takes with the heavyweights. And that was one of my first questions was, do you re-sign Goff now? Now, Easy was not on board at all at that point. Goff hadn't had his first Magic season, which was 2023, so we didn't quite know who he was.
That was after the 9-8 year, right?
Correct. Okay. But imagine if you signed Jared Goff going into 2023.
$33 million.
Exactly.
$33 million.
Exactly. You're saving yourself $10 million plus a year. And I think that this is an even clearer signing because there isn't the question of can Hutch be a premier passer or edge rusher as he is in this league. We already know what he is. This isn't a torn ACL. This isn't a ruptured Achilles. This is a broken leg that, by and large, most athletes have come back fully from. So this is a guy that I think you have to expect to regain his full ability and full impact on the game. And he's just coming back angry and hungry. And if you give him a full season to raise his salary and cost, he's going to do exactly that. This is a Michigan guy. He's one of the most favorite players on this team. You've got to keep him here. We're already planning on keeping him here, so do it now. Have him give you a little bit of a break and see if you can save some money and do it. Get it done with so we know where we're at.
Tom, I'm going to let you go. Correction. He's one of the NFL's favorite players.
True that.
Everyone loves Aiden Hutchinson, including fans, man.
Hey, man, we've got a special guest star coming in, a surprise guest. Let's see who it is on the special Ermanni and Edwards with Mass Show.
There he is.
And he heavyweight himself, Easy.
Yes, sir.
Turkins.
I ain't seen my guy in a minute, man. What's up, Easy?
Easy. How you guys been?
I'm doing good since I turned the headphones down. Jesus Christ.
That hoodie, you're looking really good in that hoodie, my friend. I got to say, you look real good.
He wore that for you.
So how you?
Champs, man.
That's right. Let's go.
How you gonna come on the show where Michigan State? You know it's my show. Like where we at with it?
He's wearing black because he's in mourning after they lost again, baby. He's in mourning.
I care less about that. When last time y'all won a football game? Get out of there with all that. Easy Anson, I'll let you dive into it. The Carlton Davis taking things that are going on, bring him back to pay. You guys have some fun with it. Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you. You remember 2 years ago when I came in, I said, let's sign Jared Goff right now before the 2023 season. I know you weren't a believer in him at that point, but we'd have saved ourselves probably 20 to 25% of what we're paying him now. To me, I think it's an even bigger no-brainer to do that with Hutch. As we all spoke here, this is one of the favorite guys in the NFL, especially here in Michigan. We know what he's capable of. We don't have to wait to see that 2023 season like we did from Goff. I think this is a guy you sign right now, and you get as much of a discount to do it as possible.
Absolutely, and I truly believe that's the plan. I think that's why there's a little bit of a holdup with Carlton Davis. I think that's why there's a holdup with Kirby Joseph. I think you want to get Aiden Hutchinson done because that's a deal that's going to reset the market. I'm kind of disappointed that Max Crosby and those guys beat us to it, but I'm fairly certain that's something that they're working on now. You look what they did with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Penei Sewell. It's all after that third year they made sure to get that extension done. And if you don't, you have to do that. You have to kick in that fifth-year option. That's a $23 million cap hit. You don't want that. Signing him right now. Kick the can down the road.
How about Kirby Joseph, Easy? He doesn't have that first-round option, so you can't do a fifth-year option with him. You got to sign him this year. He's making $1.5 million. He could go up to $15 million real quick here.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like, it's so weird that secondary, and I'm sure Braylon knows too. Like a lot of those guys, a lot of their production is somewhat dependent on their front seven too, because those guys were off the hot start. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and then We lost a couple of the guys on the defensive line, and all of a sudden we're not getting as many interceptions,
Correct.
so many game-stealing plays like that. But I still think at the end of the day, if you could have a combination of Hutch and Kirby Joseph, that's worth it, and you do pay him because he's shown to be clutch in those moments. I think he's back there playing like an outfielder almost and nabbing down those balls. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Kirby Joseph's agent is in town today, so maybe they are working on something.
That'll be nice. I mean, I'd like to keep him. He was one of the guys I actually had in my surprise package to send over to Cleveland, along with 2 number ones to get Myles Garrett. I always said, Kyle, you could lose Kirby Joseph if you get Myles Garrett. You don't need 2 stud safeties like you have now. But it ain't going to happen, so I'm turning the page on that. So Carlton Davis, it doesn't look like he's getting signed, and I think that you take offense to that.
Yeah, I do. We haven't had a cornerback 1 in Detroit since Darius Slay left. We finally got one, and it helped you to the tune of a top 10 defense. And not only that, you gave up a draft asset to go get this guy. So you gave up a 3rd rounder for a 1-year rental. You're telling me I can't do that with guys like Myles Garrett, but we're going to do it with guys like Carlton Davis and don't let him walk. It's disappointing. And it's not so much Carlton Davis specifically. It's just the fact that we don't have anybody prepared to replace him right now. I don't think Tiernan Arnold's ready to be cornerback 1 on this football team.
No.
Especially if your goal is to win a Super Bowl.
Easy, I got a question for you. So I know that you're a Carlton fan, and I know that you'd like to bring him back. How much are you going to pay a cornerback that has played between 59 and 82% of games each of his 7 years in the league?
I said anywhere from what I'm hearing, and this is obviously like the number you put out to get the number you want, but he's looking at to be in the 20 million range, and I'm not down with that. That's a little too much, too rich for my blood. I truly don't believe he'll get that, but if we're truly looking to, nab that Super Bowl over the next 2 to 3 years, at 17, 14, 17, I'm fine with that. Obviously, ideally, you'd like that to be lower, and there are other options on the market right now that I'll talk about during the heavyweights. Make sure you guys tune in at 5 o'clock. But 14, 17, I'd be comfortable with that if you're truly going to try to win that Super Bowl the next 2 to 3 years.
Now, for $17, $18 million, I can see Darius Slay and Kendall Fuller both being here. Would you rather have those 2 for the same type of money?
No, I wouldn't.
They about to get cooked and cooked.
Yeah, I love Darius Slay. Like, I'd even almost consider him an acquaintance. We've gone back and forth, debated and stuff like that via text, but let's be real about it. Vic Fangio, that's his own defense. Darius Slay, 34 years old, and he's happened to have we just talked about it, like that front 4, that front 7 in front of these defensive backs, and makes them perform better. In Philadelphia, they had the best front 7 in football.
Tell him easy.
He's not going to come here and have the success that he had in Philadelphia. He's not that level of player anymore. I love him, though. He's a great guy. And Kendall Fuller, I mean, why be grabbing 2 guys to split reps? You don't do that at cornerback. You do that in defensive line.
Easy. He had an 80% usage ratage with the best defensive line and the best linebacker core in the league. 80%, which is down from 94. That's only going to get worse if he comes here to Detroit because he's going to have to be up at the line of scrimmage a lot more because they love to play man-to-man. Tom, we got a super chat. Hold on real quick, Easy.
Oh, chat here. On the chat, it is made in the USA.
Yes, sir.
He put $20 in. And I know you want in on this, Easy. You asked me, how do I get in on this Braylon Pistons package? So made in the USA put $20 in. That's 10 entries for him to go see the Pistons and Cavs, eat at Parlay, and get free parking coming up on March 28th. He says, what guys do you really think, free agent-wise, will come to Detroit? So, Easy, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah.
Ones that want to win.
Ones that want to win. Amen. Exactly what Braylon just said. And I think we've learned in the past couple of years with this new regime, guys that want to prove themselves. I think this is a team you come on and you get a little bit of spotlight because you'll be winning games, and people love the Detroit Lions. Guys that, maybe we can survive off of 1-year fillers. I just don't think we should be going 3rd-round picks for them. If you're going to give a 3rd-round pick, maybe resign that guy, right? But, yeah, maybe guys want to make a name for themselves. I think you saw a couple guys do that here. I mean, Jamal Williams, not on Carlton Davis level at all whatsoever. That was very disrespectful. And he apologized.
I'm not comparing.
He was here for that 1 year, got paid. There's a certain name out there. I don't think it's a 1-year deal, but Paulson Adebo from the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, sir.
He's a man coverage guy. He's about 6 foot. I think he's got enough length to stick with the Ranger guys we have in this division. DK might be coming soon. I don't know if you guys seen that. The Packers trying to make that happen. That's going to be a problem. But I think Debo Paulson, I'm going to talk about a little bit later too, but I think that'd be the guy.
Adebo and Deo, I think would really open up everything for this regime to attack the draft. Now, just to clarify, I'm not comparing the impact on this team or their skill level between Carlton Davis and Jamal Williams. What I am talking about is the attachment that Detroit Lions fans, who have mostly been, languishing in a desert of irrelevance, now we get so attached to some of these guys when they aren't necessarily the best business move for this team. A 17 to 20. I'm not saying that. Now, you were the one that told me not to sign him a year beforehand when it would cost us $10 million less. But when you look at a guy who literally has missed the majority of Decembers and Januaries in his 7-year career in Carlton Davis, to pay him $17 million feels an awful lot like these 1-year and 2-year misses that we've had with the Davenports and the Mosleys and the CD Deuces and things like that. So I just think that I don't know, man. It's a really large amount to pay, and I feel like a lot of Lions fans want to hold on to that piece because we finally, as you said, had that number one corner that we've been so desperate for since Slay left. So I'm just wondering if we aren't better off with depth between two players like a Paulson Adebo and somebody else versus going all in on a guy who has proven through 7 years he can't play 17 games.
Yeah, I don't really love that argument though, because you could use that for everybody. Like if I wanted to be a POS, I could turn around and use that for Hutch. Like, oh, Hutch is so good, but he didn't play the full season last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's football.
We're talking about 7 seasons without a full
Injuries
season.
are going to happen. Like they're unpredictable, And sometimes I feel like, you want to sign a guy for his value, and I think that's a conversation you have with him. Like, look, man, you ain't finished the season in a minute. I can't pay you 20, but can you come down to 15? Let's go win a Super Bowl, Or like you said, you love Dan Campbell. I think it's a conversation you have with those guys. But like the injury stuff, I could throw that card down for anybody, It's just it's not really a fair game to play when you're trying to like degrade someone.
Also, too, man, I know you want to talk. I'm so sorry. This is just as it related to this. Is you paid DJ Reader last year, and DJ Reader was hurt in Cincinnati. Yeah. Not even your team. He did no work for you as a Detroit Lion. He did all his work with the Bengals and got hurt, and you paid him. At least Carlton Davis was DB1, shows you he was DB1, and he did it here.
Well, hey, the Lions have shown no issues with signing injured guys. So to me, Carlton Davis could absolutely happen, but I think the more telling thing is the timeliness of the quote that we had up earlier, talking about, hey, just watch the tape and see why I should be paid. That, to me, I'm reading the tea leaves, and that says that the negotiations with the Lions haven't led him to where he feels confident he's going to get what he needs to be paid.
Not.
So I don't see him coming back. The fact that they didn't franchise him tells me that they don't see him being worth $18, $20+ million.
Not for 1 year, though.
Well, certainly, but it's that much easier. Listen, Kirby Joseph, that's probably our first franchise tag in 8 years next season.
Listen, if you don't need Carlton Davis, if you get this guy, and it's Braylon's guy, it's Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals All-Pro has asked the Bengals for a trade. They have granted it to him. He says, I love this city and organization. I appreciate the privilege of now being allowed to explore my options. So Trey Hendrickson is now on the market. Easy? He's cheaper than Myles Garrett. Do you trade for him?
If I was in control of things, sure. It's maybe something I would do, but the way Brad operates, I don't think it's going to happen. He wants to get traded because he wants a new deal, and we're talking about resetting the market with Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to be a free agent the following year. I don't know if that makes sense for us to do. It's kind of like the kid that left Kansas City last year, L'Jarius Sneed. Yeah, it would have made sense to have him on here, but if I'm going to give up assets and then give him a max contract, it's not in Brad's repertoire. He's going to pay his guys in-house, like he says. I'd probably let that one I'll do respect to Bray. That's my guy. Yeah. We share a nickname. I don't think that one's happening.
Share
Easy.
a nickname.
What's the evolution of Easy, baby? I love it.
What's that nickname, Easy?
Pass the torch. You pass the torch.
100%.
Hey, man, wait, before you leave.
I give up a first round for 1 year and see what happens. Pick 28, Trey Hendrickson.
I'd do that too.
Yeah,
I'd probably do that.
That's all they want. Like, fine, you can have pick 28. What are we gonna do? Pick another Terry and Arnold?
Yeah.
You can have 28. Give me Trey Hendrickson for a year and see what happens, because he's going to get his sacks and numbers regardless.
Yeah. Right.
So if he does that for your team in 1 year, You get to the Super Bowl, you win the Super Bowl. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But then you can look at it. Okay, now what do we want to do with Trey Henderson? Do we want to pay him, or do we want to let him walk out the door? If you win a Super Bowl, I could care less.
He seems like a Dan and Brad type of guy too. And again, with Myles Garrett, you're taking away the assets that have gotten us here, draft picks. Now, to give up 2, 3, 4 of those, like Maz's been talking, I got an issue with that.
I don't care.
But at 28, if you and this is to your point about A.J. Brown. When Philly made that trade back in the day, they only really gave up a first because they swapped thirds. And at that pick at 18, they were going to take a wide receiver. So why not get one that's accomplished, that can step in day one as a starter? And that's exactly what Trey Hendrickson would be. So if you have to give up the number 28 and maybe next year's third, even next year's third, I'm in.
Take it.
Yeah, right. See, I'd rather do that to jump to like 15 or something and grab one of those young guys and have him on a 4-year deal.
All right.
How far do you have to go up to get Mason Graham?
6.
Cool.
Way high.
Yeah. What would you do?
I'll take
what would
Kenneth
you
Grant
do
instead.
What would you trade to move up and get him right now?
I gotta be honest with you, man. I got a couple guys I like ahead of him. I
you
think
do?
He's a really good player. Yeah, I do. This one, I know not everybody's in love with it because it doesn't necessarily have the numbers on it, but I think Braylon would tell you there's guys in college that have production don't translate to NFL, but I like Shamar Stewart. I think he fits the type of defensive end that Brad Holmes likes to bring in here. You pay attention, Josh Pascal, John Kaminsky, Marcus Davenport. He likes him thick. You know, he like a little bit, a little meat on him. And Shamar Stewart, like 6'5", 267 pounds, and he's got that get off that you just can't really teach. I think that'd be tremendous to have here in a one-on-one blocking situation with Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson taking on 2 to 3 guys opposite of him.
Now, Easy, I know you're not talking about the guy that had no more than 1.5 sacks each of his 3 years in college.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
No, thank you.
You ever heard of Danielle Hunter?
You. No, thank you.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, for every Danielle Hunter, I can show you 40 more Josh Pascals.
That's fine. I can show you 50 Tim Tebow's. Just because you produce in college.
Get on one knee and try and show me another Tim Tebow, because there's only one, pal.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hey, before Easy goes, can I get one more in on him?
Yeah, I wasn't going to let.
Pardon you?
Before he hops in his car and comes and does the heavyweights?
Pause.
Okay. We talked about signing Hutch.
Bonnie Blue? What are we doing?
I was about to say, Bonnie Blue.
We talked about Lily Phillips. Never mind. We talked about signing Aiden Hutchinson. We talked about signing Kirby Joseph. We didn't throw Jamison Williams' name out at you. I don't know if they could sign everybody. If you go back to 2015, you know what I'm talking about. You had 3 guys, you only signed 2. That might be the case here. What's your take on J-Mo?
I'm curious here. Braylon's take on this one. I personally, obviously Jamison Williams is amazing talent, but you perform to a tune of a top 5, top 2 defense or offense without him. So if it comes to it, I feel like that's a guy maybe recruit some assets from if you can't re-sign him. He's going to garner that type of market, man. You can't really J-Mo's don't fall off trees, but we were producing, again, top 3 offense without him. I don't know. But Braylon, you played the position. You told me, man.
Yeah, I was always in the market for re-signing J-Mo based on the speed. You don't get speed like that every day. It's not 4.3 speed. It's 4.2 speed. It's different. You saw how it opened up. Amon-Ra St. Brown opened up for Sam Laporta when he got healthy, and even Jahmyr Gibbs in the flats to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, it's not the most important piece. And this is a new revelation. I was actually going to tell you today, but yeah, J-Mo is not the piece. I wouldn't re-sign J-Mo because you can find another wide receiver, and it hurts me to say that. But just for what the money is, the production's not there. For just what that money is, the production isn't there. Like, 1,000 yards in 17 games, and I had to move up to 12 to get you, and I had to figure all this other stuff out. Like, unless he did something just ridiculous this year, I think we can move on from him because I think the core is intact. We'll revamp the offensive line. Amon-Ra St. Brown is your wide receiver here. Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery. You can find another wide receiver, as much as it pains me to say that.
Pete, who is this good-looking guy in a Michigan State hoodie that's that's dressed up like Easy right now? Who is that guy?
That would be the great Easy.
Amen. Let's look at this team. 2 years ago, one of the best offenses in the league, J-Mo didn't even play. Well, like 3 snaps. And then last year, the guy had, not this last season, but 2023, obviously some great plays in the playoffs. But otherwise, that 2023 offense, one of the best in the league, He barely contributed. So the fact that this kid's probably going to be getting an $18 to $20 million offer from somebody, listen, what's he ever going to do for us but 900, maybe 1,100 yards? We have Sam Laporta, and there's so many wide receivers. Let's go and get Higgins in the 4th round if we can, or the 3rd round.
I will say this, though. Even though I just said what I said, let's not forget that Ben Johnson's not the offensive coordinator.
True.
Ben Johnson was
Mr. Quality Control.
For what he did, he put an offense in place that the NFL hadn't seen before. He put stats in place that the NFL, not the Lions, hadn't seen before. So before we just say, we can just plug and play another guy. What if because he's my former coach? What if Johnny Mo's offense ain't like that?
Well, and that's the thing is we are going to see it. We are going to see a new offense. Now, in terms of Ben Johnson, I got to say real quick, could you imagine a worse quarterback to pair with Ben Johnson's style of play than the catfish known as Caleb?
Whatever you want.
No, I think Ben Johnson's I think he's a great play caller. I don't even think he's going to run the same offense at all, to be honest with you. I think they're going to make up something completely new.
They can.
That's kind of what he did with Jared Goff. He didn't come in here with, this is my offense. He sat down with Jared Goff. Okay, what can you do? What are you not great at? Let's avoid those, and let's lean towards what you're good at. Okay, timing. Play action, middle of the field. We could work there. I think that's exactly what he's going to do with Caleb Williams. And now it's just like, can Caleb Williams, can he not be crazy and sporadic in the pocket? And I think they're grabbing an offensive line to help him do that.
Yeah, I agree. Easy. Are you staying with us through the break, or are you out of here?
You got to come.
I can stay with you the break.
I guess you do got to come into the studio.
You got to get ready for work.
I got one question for you then, Braylon.
Oh, go ahead.
How you feeling about the dominatrix era of The Rock? I'm not comfortable watching grown men like that. I don't know how I feel about that, man.
This is my issue with society today, man. At every point, I was just off of wrestling. I was out of the whole loop. I was off the thing. I said, you know what? I'm evolved. I'm getting too old for this.
Nope.
They brought back the final boss, and he had to run, and it was everything. It brought me back in. What is like Al Pacino? Every time I try, you pull me back in.
They pull me back in.
They pulled me back in, and then you hit me with the rug pull. Like this is what I get. I get a dominatrix rock with John Cena and his bald head self. Like somebody called them 2 bald head frauds, and I agree. I understand what Triple H was doing, and I'm gonna watch. So that's the congratulations, you did it. But you wait till John Cena's been wrestling for 30 years, do a rug pull. He doesn't have hair anymore. Like the jorts thing is played out. He's wearing Skechers.
Look, his farewell tour should have started in Turkey. That's all I'm saying for John Cena.
All right, we're going to say farewell to you. See you in the studio soon. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Easy. Thank you.
Catch the heavyweights from 5 to 7 daily. Check them out today.
You are all right.
Are crazy. We got to pay some bills before we get out of here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about merch?
Man, I know y'all tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch. It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. Get you some new merch, man. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. Everyone's gonna be asking you, hey, I see that new Tigers hoodie. See that new Red Wings t-shirt. Where'd you get it? You gonna look them dead in the face, really serious, and tell them shop.woodwardsports.com is where I got it. You go get you one. We'll be right back.
Brand new merch with the money that you just won in your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. That's right, everybody. Scan that QR code above my head and use the code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do that, deposit at least $20 and make a first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We're back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 in your pocket. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. Try them online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. And throw in Trey Hendrickson while you're at it.
Right.
Throw in Trey Hendrickson back. Last segment to wrap it up for the day. Great show out of you guys, man. Everybody, great show.
Amen.
Appreciate Easy for dropping in. It's always good
I'll
to
tell
see
you, that kid's full of knowledge. He's full of something.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did I know that was coming?
I love him.
How did I just
I
know
love
that
him. Him and
was coming?
Spenny are my guys.
The
They
good people.
definitely are. All right, Maz, we got about 15, 13 minutes. Oh, you know what? I take that back. Pete Spivak has been waiting to share this news, so I now turn the show
What's he have, Bowling
Well,
Green
to
news?
Pete Spivak.
Maybe, who knows? As you guys know, the international games for the NFL, at least the hosting teams, have all been set. Now, the Lions are not scheduled to play the Colts, and the Colts are playing in Munich this year, but a very respected Lions fan site has put something out here very interesting, gentlemen. Rory has been sighted in Germany. Now,
okay.
what does this mean for 2026? Are the Lions going to be playing overseas in 2026? Because they're not on the Colts schedule, and the Colts host in Germany this year. So I was just throwing it out there, guys. Are we going to Germany in 2026 is all I'm saying. All I'm asking.
Would you go, Maz?
Would I travel to Germany?
Yes.
I guess I would.
You would go?
Yeah. To watch a football game?
Yeah, because you have a year
Hell
to prepare
yeah.
for it.
Right.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I've never been, that far.
Right.
To be honest with you. I'm a homebody, American guy.
Okay.
I'll go to Cancun, go around here.
Okay.
Islands around the Americas. But, but
Puddin' Bay.
my wife wants to go. She wants to go on an African safari. I told her she's got to find a girlfriend for that. She wants to go to Europe.
I feel you on that one.
I'm
Put
like,
the foot down, man.
I'm like,
feel you on
we
that
haven't
one.
seen California yet. We can, let's drive across country instead. But she wants to go. Hey, if Germany and the Lions were playing overseas and we were able to go and really get in that stadium and enjoy it, those fans, they have an awesome time overseas. I got to give the NFL credit. They've really hit the jackpot overseas. I just don't understand how they think they're going to include any international teams eventually. They're going to have they want to have a division of international teams. I just don't know how it's going to work.
I don't know how you boomers always want to go on cross-country road trips. What is it about the boomers? I mean,
I get in the car, man. I love driving.
I get it. Furthest I've driven was Beaumont, Texas. I helped my boy drive back from Beaumont to Ann Arbor. It's 22 hours. I never do it again. But, you'll never be able to do this. It's because of the scheduling any teams going over there, if you were trying to have a team, like the trips is too much. Trying to get back on schedule, like you would never be able to do it. Even if you put a league over there, I don't know how you would. Would you put 4, 5, 6 teams over there? They have their own league, and then they join us at the end.
They already had that NFL Europe thing, but it wasn't the NFL.
That was the feeder league back
it was the feeder league. The Berlin Fire. The Rhine Fire.
Excuse me. The New York, New Jersey Knights. Were you a big fan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a pennant.
I got to be honest.
How long before, and not to cut you off, sorry, how long before they try to put a playoff game overseas? Because that's what's coming next. Everything is an ease in. Start with, they've been
they
playing
talked about
overseas.
the Super Bowl.
But it would start with a playoff game. They wouldn't. First of all, they would never put the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll tell you what.
Don't say that.
I think the Super Bowl probably happens before a playoff game.
Me too,
really?
because you don't want to.
Because
you can't lose a home game.
Take that from a team.
You can't take it from a team.
Yeah.
And then you've got to basically kind of plan it after that team's made it in.
It can't happen.
Up before the whole season starts, you can say, hey, we're having this game in the UK. But I'll be honest, out of all of the foreign destinations to have an NFL game, Germany is my last choice.
And it's Munich, too.
Because the food is crap, the girls are ugly, and the beer is warm.
Not in Munich.
Wow.
Period.
Not in Munich.
I've been all over the world.
Not in Munich.
In nearly 40 countries.
You don't like Oktoberfest?
I've
Not
been
in
to
Munich,
Oktoberfest, and that was pretty cool, but it is just pure.
Why are you dissing the German women?
I trust Anson.
Right?
I trust Anson.
We might have
You make it easy.
Anson
when
likes
you make
Russian.
it easy. Hey, I don't mind high cheekbones, baby. I don't mind high cheekbones at all. But no, Germany was cool. But I mean, like the whole Oktoberfest, it is pure
girls are hot.
Tourist madness.
I got you.
I spent a lot of time in Berlin, a lot of time in Munich, and like
München.
Köln as well. I'm just not a fan of that country.
What's your place?
in general?
Call it what it is. München.
I mean, I love the Eastern Bloc, and I love España. Spain is amazing.
I bet.
Give me a siesta.
You sound like the Rock
Period.
just now. No,
Siesta every day. People just
Heck
have
yeah.
lunch, knock off for a couple hours, and then everything stays open till 5 a.m.
That's
I
my
think
kind
that
of
was-
place.
The Fast Six.
That
where
does
he was
sound
like,
really good.
He was like, we're going to see. We said, brush up on your Spanish. We're going to España.
Girls
Oh
in Munich.
man, we didn't ask you, Ricky. Ricky, would you go over there?
Oh yeah, I would. I love
sign
traveling,
you
so I
up?
go.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I go. There's not
Have you
many
been
places I
over?
won't go.
Have you been over the
No,
pond
never,
before?
Nope, never been over the pond. I'm like Maz. Like I've been to like Dominican. I got married in Dominican. Been to like Mexico a
So the
couple
Caribbean.
times. Yeah, but
Caribbean
never
go
over there.
back.
But yeah, I'd go.
Yeah, I'm a
Especially if the
fan of
Lions
the
are
Lions.
there.
I'm not
I
a
love
fan
the
of big
Lions.
flies.
I'm not a fan of that much to go and watch a game out in Germany. Now, if they play in Brazil, you sign the brother up.
Bro, come on
They
now.
play in Brazil.
Don't wear
Come
green.
on now.
Don't
Sign-
wear
you sign the
green.
brother up.
They got a game in Brazil.
Don't
I'm
wear
talking about
green.
Lions. Lions are my team, though. Lions and the Jets.
Gang
and I won't go
colors.
see the Jets play in Brazil, but I go see the Lions in Brazil.
Lions, Jets in Brazil. Let's go.
Oh man, I'm gonna be on both sidelines.
What are you going to be doing Sunday?
I'm going up to the Breslin.
You're going to Michigan State, East Lansing.
Are you really?
How long has it been since you were in that beautiful city, East Lansing?
Every year TJ Duckett does a Ronald McDonald House deal. So this year was in Ann Arbor, but last year it was in East Lansing. So outside of that though, I used to date a girl there back in like 07.
Smart.
She was fun.
I got to be honest with you. I have had way better human beings out of the females I dated that were Wolverines versus the awful Spartan women I ever dated. I don't know what's
see?
the
But here's the thing, like the Michigan women are for the long term. That's for down
Right
the
on.
road, the marriage and all that. The fun side,
Right
is Michigan
on.
State.
I dated
right
a
on,
zoology
dude.
student from state that concussed my dog.
What?
Don't even
Wait.
get me started, man.
What?
Don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, Michigan.
Hey.
I had some good times at Michigan State. We would legitimately like
I
win
did
our
too.
games, and I'd go to the state party and come back to Ann Arbor.
Acres
Go ahead,
Hall,
man.
baby.
Smart, once again.
Sure.
I partied in Acres Hall, dude.
He's got a Michigan education. I would never accuse him of anything but being smart.
Hey,
Acres, baby.
I got a name to bring up for you guys.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about this before we leave. Caitlin Clark.
KG's not in the
Where's
booth.
I know.
KG, dude?
I busted his chops already. Look at this.
KG's not in the booth.
Caitlin Clark, her WNBA preseason opener in May has already sold out. Over 15,000 tickets sold to watch Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Crazy.
If LeBron sold out 1 million tickets, we wouldn't talk about it, though.
No, he wouldn't sell out 1 million tickets. Because people are sick and
I
tired of him.
love you, buddy. I love
But this
you.
is something. This woman, this girl has turned an entire sport.
What?
She has, Ricky.
Has it turned around yet? For real? Like,
Yes.
honestly.
Yes. We talk about the WNBA now because of her.
You talk about Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Do we actually talk about anything? Have we mentioned anything else from WNBA? That's
we
what
do.
I mean.
Like during basketball season, we switched our gears.
Last year, heavy.
We switched our gears,
maybe-
and I got to
okay.
be honest to
Maybe
man.
I'm
Like,
too
I'm
little
honest
for
in
it.
that point. We have switched our gears, and she is at the forefront of it. We'd be lying if we said it is. And everything that Nike is starting to do with the women's ads and how it's promoted even more. The other companies that are coming on board is the TV deals that they're now doing. They got a $1.4 billion deal last season. So yes, we are talking more.
Okay,
that's
maybe I'm
not
just too
impressive
new.
though. 15,000 seats in Indiana. Indiana is a sports town.
It's preseason.
It's 15. It's Caitlin Clark. She shoots from half court,
Right.
And it's a sports town. It's 15,000 seats. If you told me it was 40,000, maybe 15,000.
To add on what you're saying,
It's summertime.
You can only sell out where you play.
but wait a
Maz,
second.
but
Wait a
what is
second.
there? I'm just simply saying it's not impressive to me because it's 15,000 and it's in the summer. There's no football. There's no
All right.
basketball. And they don't have a baseball team.
And Braylon, you know what should be expected? And I know that they didn't, but every single championship team in any sport should be selling out their first game when they come back the next season. We don't see that in the
didn't win,
WNBA.
Oh yeah, I see.
We
Yeah.
don't see that in the
100%.
WNBA. So this is substantial in the fact that she's selling these things out. But, we saw old girl this week talk about how they should be paid the same as the NBA. Until you start selling out games, not just for one player, you can't really have that. Now, last year I said that in a year from now, after this coming season, that the whole WNBA, movement would be over. I think I was wrong.
You
And
are.
there's two reasons why.
Yeah, I told you.
And
you
it's
were wrong.
Audie Crooks and Juju Watkins.
Because
And I'm going to tell you, Juju is a true threat to being a better player in the WNBA than Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin obviously is maybe a little bit better range, a little bit of a larger player, but there's nothing on the court that Juju cannot do, both offensively and defensively. But Audie Crooks, if you don't know about the Mammoth Center in Iowa State, you got to watch this girl play because she is an absolute tank and she's
I know who you're talking
unstoppable.
about.
And so when Audie and Juju make it, now we're not just talking about Magic and Larry Bird or WNBA version.
She's
Only
huge.
problem with that for women, and look, this isn't me being a hater. This is me being 1,000% honest. Look, Caitlin Clark can shoot from the logo. That's what makes her special. That is why we watch the game.
Juju can too.
Juju can shoot. She can't shoot from the logo. Shooting from the logo is
She's a
different.
little too small to throw it that far.
Yeah, I'm saying shooting from the logo and being able to make a shot here every 10 games is different. They can't do that. And part of the WNBA growing is males watching. Males watch Caitlin Clark because it looks like Steph Curry or Dame Lillard. And that's where the problem is. It's the consistent. What's the word I'm looking for? Unicorns like Caitlin Clark.
So I think the difference is everybody's got
Every
this.
team was in the negative last year, by the way, WNBA, in terms of where they still are. Every team was in the negative with the exception of the Indianapolis Fever. They were the only team to finish in the green.
So what revived the WNBA was this Magic Larry type of thing with Angel and Caitlin.
By the way, I didn't know Angel and Jalen Duren were a thing.
Yeah, I just learned that too.
I had no idea.
But
Detroit got all the big relationships right now. You got Cash Doll and Big Z. Side note, the fact that they're dating, I think Big Z might be staying in
I
Detroit.
hope so, man.
I meant
I love him.
I meant to mention that yesterday when Ryan said it. They're dating, he might be here.
They've got the history of playing in the NCAA, finals and stuff. But Juju is the true polar opposite and woman that they need in the WNBA to keep this popularity going, because her and Caitlin play on a completely different level, and they're not 6'7", 6'8" centers in the game like Lisa Leslie, like Asia. These two girls, I think that Juju and Caitlin are going to be centerpieces of this league for 10 years, and she is truly so skilled that now you've got this white and black conversation debate that drives people to want to pick one or the other, drives people to want to go to games. But I'm going to tell you, Audie is probably going to be one of the biggest fan favorites that we've ever seen in any sport ever.
It's funny you mentioned Juju Watkins as being a smaller player. She's not, the mammoth size. She's not Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, the athletic parts. That goes to the Steph Curry conversation. And you mentioned his name. Maz, we were just having a conversation last week. I asked you, I said, when will he be able to crack that Pantheon of 10 or whatever? He said, look, he's a top 10 player. We'll leave it at that. Shaq said something on his behalf last night. Shaq said, look, you need to start valuing Steph as one of the greatest of all time. When you're mentioning LeBron and you're mentioning Shaq, all these players, he mentioned Steph as well.
That's awesome.
He's the most unique player of all time because he's exactly what you said about Juju. He's not Michael Jordan, who we all know has the thumb pinky, the longest of all time, and is 6'6". He's not LeBron James, who's just a force, or Shaq, or Wilt. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
He's a regular human being.
Amazing.
But the impact that he's had, he's arguably the most influential player of all time, not named number 23.
Just so you mention his name, it makes me smile automatically.
But that's what I'm saying. But to your point, like those type of players, everyone can get around it. Because everybody can't be 6'8". Everybody can't be Candace Parker or Brienne, whatever the hell her name is, and went to Russia and got locked up. Brienne, you can't be that. No, that's Stewie. I was thinking about Griner. Everybody can't be Brittany Griner. 6'8", 6'10".
Well, I've learned a whole lot about her physiology lately. Did not realize that.
What's that?
She has the same condition as the Turkish boxer.
Oh, okay.
Or with that being said, we will end the show.
Well timed, my friend.
You got to end it with Randall Smalls, another donation. He says, will a woman ever play with men in basketball?
No.
Who won the card?
But there's a man playing with women in the WNBA right now. So anyway, we need a total. Who's the winner, Pete? Can you let us know who brought in the most?
I can let you know. It's made in the USA.
Hey. This is for me on there? Okay.
Man, that looks amazing.
I know, right? What's going on? What is it?
I was just about to go over there and grab it.
Arrangements.
Oh, yeah.
You must have a fan somewhere. Can we get the total, Pete, while we're looking at this?
Tommy has it.
Tom,
$40 to $60.
To who?
No, 40 to B. Martin.
To B. Martin.
B. Martin.
40 to B. Martin.
There we go, man. We're going to send this over to you. I'm going to have Braylon sign in just a moment here. And again, we appreciate everybody that contributed today. We're going to be doing this all month long. Every time I'm in here, we will have some sort of an autographed card for you guys. But then remember, every time you jump in this super chat, you're going to get yourself some tickets for that Braylon Pistons parlay package at the end of the month. Appreciate everybody supporting. He's got something awesome there, man. You sharing or you taking that home?
I'm taking home and throwing in the refrigerator. I appreciate this. You remember my uncle passed away at the beginning of the year? His birthday is today.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. Rest in peace, Uncle Walter. Happy birthday in heaven, as they say. So I appreciate this edible arrangement on that behalf. My parents and family will enjoy
We also appreciate buddies.
Yeah, we do.
New partner buddies.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Partner.
We appreciate you guys so much for helping us out with some lunch today as well.
Appreciate that, man. Hell of a show out of you guys.
That was fun.
It's got me really emotional. My apologies. Yeah, the show was fun. Great content, always fun. We'll be together tomorrow as well, so we'll have some more fun. Shout out to Randall Smalls as well as everyone made in Detroit, made in America in the super chat. We appreciate it. And then, by the way, go ahead, B. Martin.
I want to give a shout out to a friend of ours and a friend of everybody here in Detroit sports. It's Andy Isaac.
Yep.
The great Isaac on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, on everything. He worked with us for a while here with our social media team. We love Andy Isaac. He lost his battle with cancer. He wrote a heartfelt note a couple of weeks ago saying he was going to go and live this out in hospice, try to take this pain away. He fought it like a champ, and we lost him. One of the biggest Piston fans. I think he rivaled you, Anson. He would live at that sausage house. He would have his season tickets behind the Pistons bench. He was a champion for all sports, and he always said, F the Bears. That was his favorite saying. He put the word in, except. That's all I want to say. Andy Isaac, up in heaven, we love you, our friend.
Andy, you will be missed. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Anson. I'll see you again tomorrow. Appreciate buddies, all of our sponsors. Ricky Burns, Peace 5 back.
Sir.
Tom Masway, great job by you. We'll see you mañana.